Hello guys, this is Rahul and welcome back to our channel Doctors to Be. We are discussing about brainstem and particularly we are discussing about the medulla, one of the part of the brainstem. So a short recap to what we completed till now. So under brainstem we had three parts: medulla, pons and the midbrain. We started with medulla, studied the external features of both ventral and dorsal surfaces. Then we came down to internal features and we knew that we had to discuss the internal features under at three different levels. They were three different levels. They were pyramidal decussation, sensory decussation and olivary level. We completed pyramidal decussation in our previous video and today we shall discuss about the internal features of the medulla at the level of sensory decussation. So if you have not watched our previous videos, I'll provide the videos in the I button and also you can find those videos on the end screen of this video. So please consider watching those videos to have a continuity. And if you want to watch those videos before this one, so you can go to our playlist named Neuroanatomy and then you can find over there. So at the level of sensory decussation, section of medulla at the level of sensory decussation. So formation of medial lemniscus takes place at the level of sensory decussation. We saw that at the level of pyramidal decussation, the fibers from the pyramids cross over at the level of pyramidal decussation to form the lateral corticospinal tract, and some fibers that do not decussate at that level, they run anteriorly and they are known as anterior corticospinal tracts. So at the level of sensory decussation, there is the formation of medial lemniscus. Okay, and medial lemniscus is formed by the fibers called internal arcuate fibers coming from the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Okay, cuneatus. So let's write those points. So formation of medial lemniscus takes place at this level. Okay, and as we discussed at the level of primary decussation, we discussed the white matter and gray matter individually. Same in the same pattern we will also discuss so that it will be easy for us to remember. Okay, and recall in while exam time. So let's start with the white matter first. Let's discuss, first let's discuss about the gray matter. Okay, because in the pyramidal decussation we discussed first about the gray matter, so let's go in that way. Let's first discuss about the gray matter. So what are the gray matter that you will notice at the level of sensory decussation? Okay, and same like previous video, we'll try to write all the points. We'll write the gray matter, the white matter, the necessary internal features, then we'll go to figure and we'll locate all these points. We'll try to verify these points with the help of figure so that we'll have a long term memory and we can retain it easily. Okay, so for now try to remember them and try have patience and remember it. Okay, so we'll explain all these points with the figure. So you'll notice that fasciculus gracilis and fasciculus cuneatus end up in the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Okay, CUNEATUS, okay, don't get confused with the spelling, end up in nucleus gracilis and cuneatus. The spinal nucleus, okay, the spinal nucleus, I hope you remember this. The spinal nucleus we discussed earlier, and tract of trigeminal, they get separated from the central gray matter, okay, separates from central gray matter. In previous figure we noticed that the nucleus gracilis, nucleus gracilis, nucleus cuneatus, and the spinal nucleus of trigeminal were together. They were not detached from the central gray matter. We drew a figure somewhat like this, showing where this was the central gray matter with central canal, this was the tract of trigeminal, cuneatus and gracilis, again gracilis, cuneatus and the tract of trigeminal. Somewhat we made a figure like this, but in case of at the level of sensory decussation, the spinal nucleus of trigeminal separates from the central gray matter, okay, and it is seen away from the away from the central gray matter. It is not connected with the central gray matter. So then how is the central gray matter seen? The central gray matter is seen as a small heart with 3 nuclei arranged on either side, okay, and from medial to lateral the nuclei are, okay, along with these nuclei it also has a central gray matter, okay, central canal. So the central gray matter has 3 nuclei arranged from medial to lateral as hypoglossal nucleus, dorsal nucleus of vagus, and nucleus of tractus solitarius. Okay, so what happens is, this is if this is the central gray matter, we told that the nucleus of trigeminal tract is separated from the central gray matter and it is located somewhat in this position like this, okay, and the nucleus the central gray matter has central canal along with 3 nuclei arranged from medial to lateral, okay. The 3 nuclei are hypoglossal nucleus, dorsal nucleus of vagus and nucleus of tractus solitarius. So they are hypoglossal on either side, okay. I mentioned just a few moments ago on either side, but I forgot to mention over here, so keep in mind the nucleus are arranged on either side, hypoglossal nucleus, then dorsal nucleus of vagus, and then nucleus of tractus solitarius, again hypoglossal nucleus on either side, so on either side, okay, again hypoglossal nucleus, dorsal nucleus of vagus, and then nucleus of tractus solitarius, okay. So you will be clear again when we will discuss the figure. We'll again discuss these points. Now lateral to cuneatus, nucleus cuneatus is accessory cuneatus is accessory cuneate nucleus. Okay, and fibers from it go to the cerebellum, not cerebellum. Okay, cerebellum of same side, and are called those fibers. Okay, and the fibers are called posterior external arcuate fibers. Okay, so I told earlier that formation of medial lemniscus takes place at the level of sensory decussation, and that is due to the fibers, and that is by the fibers called internal arcuate fibers coming from the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. And a fibers from nucleus accessory cuneate nucleus, they go to the opposite cerebellum of the same side, and they are known as posterior external arcuate fibers. Okay, so you should keep in mind, should not get confused between internal arcuate fibers, posterior external arcuate fibers. Okay, and there is one more fiber called anterior external arcuate fibers, and from where does it arise? We'll discuss in coming. We'll discuss after this. So anterior to the pyramids. Okay, anterior to pyramids are arcuate nucleus. Okay, and fibers from it, some of the corticopontine fibers. Okay, some of the corticopontine fibers, they come to arcuate nucleus, and then they go towards the opposite cerebellum. What was the fate of corticopontine fibers? We discussed previously that corticopontine, corticonuclear and corticospinal fibers were coming from the cerebral cortex, but corticopontine was ending up at the pontine nucleus, and we just dealt up to that much, that the corticopontine fibers, they are ending up at the pontine nucleus. Then we moved forward with these fibers, but actually what happens is, from the pontine nucleus, these corticopontine fibers have a role. They have a major role in the formation of pontocerebellar pathway. Okay, they have a role in formation of pontocerebellar pathway. So these fibers, cerebellar, not cerebral. So these fibers coming from the cerebral cortex, they end up at the pontine nucleus, and then they relay towards the opposite cerebellum. Okay, opposite cerebellum, they are ending up at the pontine nucleus and then relaying to the opposite cerebellum. And these fibers going to the opposite cerebellum are known as pontocerebellar fibers. Okay, so and these fibers, pontocerebellar fibers, are responsible for transverse striations on pons. Okay, so we'll discuss about this. I told previously also that when we'll discuss about the pons, we'll discuss about the corticopontine fibers more detail, but I thought that you should have some knowledge, that's why I told. Those corticopontine fibers are ending at pontine nucleus, then they are from the pontine nucleus, they are relate to the opposite cerebellum, and those fibers are known as pontocerebellar fibers. Sometimes they are also known as corticopontocerebellar fibers, but they are known as pontocerebellar fibers. Okay, and they form transverse striations on the pons. So when we drew the figure of the pons, we made something like this, transverse striations. This is due to the pontocerebellar fibers. Okay, so some of the pontocerebellar fibers, they come to the arcuate nucleus. They are coming, most of them end at the pontine nucleus, but some of the corticopontine fibers, they come to the arcuate nucleus, and then they are relayed to the opposite cerebellum. Okay, and these are known as anterior external arcuate fibers. Are you clear? I told you previously that there is another set of fibers known as anterior external arcuate fibers. So this is that. Okay, so let's complete the point. And some corticopontine fibers come to arcuate nucleus and relay to opposite, I am writing short form, okay, OPP, opposite cerebellum. And these fibers are known as anterior external arcuate fibers. Okay, the previous one coming from the accessory cuneate nucleus was called posterior external arcuate fibers, but this is coming from the the fibers coming from the arcuate nucleus are known as anterior. These fibers are anterior external arcuate fibers. Okay, so I use one trick or one concept so that I don't get confused between anterior and posterior external arcuate arteries. Is that when you draw the figure, you'll come to know that this is the central gray matter, and this is cuneatus. We know that nucleus gracilis is in the medial side, nucleus cuneatus is the lateral to gracilis, and lateral to the cuneatus is the accessory cuneatus nucleus. Okay, I guess I forgot to mention that the accessory cuneate nucleus is lateral to that of cuneate nucleus. Okay, so if I have forgotten that, please mention that the accessory cuneate nucleus is located lateral to that of the nucleus cuneatus. Okay, accessory cuneate nucleus is located lateral to that of the cuneate nucleus. Okay, so there it is located laterally, but the arcuate fibers are anterior. No? These are the pyramids. Suppose this is the level sensory decussation, at the level of sensory decussation. Then these are the pyramids. Then anterior to pyramids are the arcuate nucleus. Then this coming to the index, this will be the posterior side, this will be the anterior side. Yes or no? So since the fibers are arising from the anterior nucleus, they can be they are named as anterior external arcuate arteries. Okay, so I use this trick, or this is my theory, you can say, so to not get confused between anterior external arcuate fibers and posterior. Okay, because cuneate nucleus is towards the posterior side, that's why it may be that the fibers from it are known as posterior external arcuate fibers, and the arcuate nucleus is toward the anterior side, that's why it may be they are known as anterior external arcuate fibers. You can use the concept just to remember that. Now let's discuss about the white matter. As we told, internal arcuate fibers, this we have already discussed earlier. Internal arcuate fibers from nucleus gracilis and cuneatus cross to the opposite side to form medial lemniscus. Okay, medial lemniscus and medial longitudinal fasciculus. Medial longitudinal fasciculus is located posterior to the medial lemniscus the pyramidal tracts lie anteriorly, and the structures similar to that of pyramidal decussation, structures like ventral and dorsal spinocerebellar tract, spinocerebellar tract, lateral spinothalamic tract, are or occupy the anterolateral position. Okay, lateral white matter. This is about the white matter and gray matter at the level of sensory decusation. Now let's draw the figure and locate these points. Okay, so let's continue with the figure. So I have already drawn an outline to save some time, so you can draw with me, or if you are not drawing, or if you have not copied the things and you feel that you needed those things, you can visit our Facebook page, and the link to the post will be given in the description below. Okay, you can find the link to the post in the description, and do check it out to find the notes or the written the things that we wrote in the classes. Okay, and those who have already copied, you can continue with the drawing. So this is the section at the level of sensory decusation. I hope it's clear to you. So figure, section at level of sensory decusation. Okay, so let's complete the figure. This is the spinal tract and spinal nucleus and tract of trigeminal nerve that is separated from the central gray matter. Okay, it gets separated from the central gray matter due to the formation of medial lemniscus fibers. Medial lemniscus, okay, due to the formation of medial lemniscus, the internal arcuate fibers, they are running anteriorly, so they separate the spinal nucleus and tract of trigeminal from the central gray matter. Okay, the internal arcuate fibers, they are separating. So you can write the spinal tract of trigeminal gets separated from the central gray matter due to the formation of medial lemniscus, or due to the internal arcuate fibers. Okay, so let's draw the central gray matter. This is the central gray matter. It is a small heart shaped central gray matter with nucleus cuneatus and nucleus gracilis. These are the accessory cunate. Okay, first let me locate the nucleus cuneatus. Okay, this is the nucleus cuneatus, fibers from it, nucleus gracilis, fibers from it, same thing over here, nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. Okay, and lateral to nucleus cuneatus are the accessory cunate nucleus. So these are the accessory cunate nucleus. Okay, that give rise to the fibers called posterior. Okay, posterior external arcuate fibers. This is the central gray matter. This is the hypoglossal nucleus, as we mentioned on the either side. Hypoglossal nucleus, dorsal nucleus of vagus, and this is the nucleus of tractus solitarius. Again, vagus, dorsal nucleus of vagus, and nucleus of tractus solitarius. So I label it 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so that I can write it over here. 1, 2 and 3. I hope you are able to see it. Let's focus a bit. Now the fibers, these are the internal arcuate fibers, and they are crossing to the opposite side. Again, Okay, so these are from the nucleus gracilis, they are crossing to the opposite side. Again from the nucleus gracilis they are coming and crossing to the opposite side. This is the medial lemniscus, these are the pyramids. Okay, and at the anterolateral position these are the lateral spinothalamic tract, and others are the vestibulocochlear tract, dorsal and ventral spinocerebellar tract. Yes or no? So let's label them. This is accessory cuneate nucleus, spinal nucleus, and tract of trigeminal, which is separated from the central gray matter due to the formation of internal arcuate fibers. These are the dorsal and ventral spinocerebellar tract. Yes or no? Spinocerebellar tract. Sorry if I blocked your vision. Okay, and this is the lateral spinothalamic tract. Okay, so these are the pyramids. Yeah, I forgot the medial longitudinal fasciculus. These are the medial longitudinal fasciculus. Okay, posterior to the medial lemniscus. This is the medial lemniscus. And this is the medial longitudinal fasciculus. Okay, medial longitudinal fasciculus. I hope we labeled all the terms. Okay, this is nucleus. First let's label this 1, 2 and 3. So 1 is, okay, I'll write it over here. One is hypoglossal nucleus. Two is dorsal nucleus of vagus. And third is the nucleus of solitarius, tractus solitarius. Okay, tractus solitarius. I hope you are clear with the points. And this is the cuneatus and this is the gracilis. Okay, nucleus cuneatus and nucleus gracilis. So this is all about the internal features at the level of sensory decussation. So I hope you are clear with the figure as well as the points that we wrote. So you can read the points once or twice and practice the diagram, then it will not be a difficult thing for you to remember. Just the drawing the figure will help you to retain all the points, and with the help of this figure you can write all the points. Okay, so I hope you got it, you are clear with the point. I hope it helped you. If you like the video, please do subscribe to the channel, and yeah, don't forget to check other videos on our channel. We have discussed various topics that you learn in your medical school. So do subscribe and share to help and support the channel. Thank you guys. See you in the next video.